17 years of carrying the pain of rejection have led to this moment. Tonight, I'm crashing my ex-husband's gala after he left me for being infertile. I'm ready to confront my past and show him the woman I've become. What happens next will change everything. Join me on this journey of resilience. Don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories. My name is Claire, and for the past 17 years, I have been living a life I never thought I would lead. A life without children, without Mark, and surprisingly, without regret. I've built a successful business, a wellness center that has become a sanctuary for women seeking refuge from their own battles. Yet, as I sat on my couch one rainy afternoon, a crisp envelope slid through my mail slot, shattering the tranquility I had so carefully crafted. The elegant script on the front read, "You are cordially invited to the gala for the launch of Mark Investments, LLC." My heart raced as I traced my fingers over the embossed lettering. Memories flooded back, each one sharper than the last. The sound of laughter, the clinking of champagne glasses, and the way Mark used to look at me like I was the only person in the room. But that was before he walked out, leaving me shattered when I couldn't give him the children he desperately wanted. "Are you going to open it?" Sarah asked, peeking over my shoulder. Her bright eyes sparkled with mischief, the perfect reflection of her vibrant personality. "I'm not sure," I replied, my voice barely a whisper. "Why would I want to relive that?" "Because it sounds like the perfect opportunity for some closure. You've built an amazing life, Claire. Maybe it's time to show him what he lost." I took a deep breath, the weight of her words sinking in. What if I did attend? What if I confronted him? A flicker of determination ignited within me. I could show Mark that I had moved on, that I had thrived in the absence of his love. I ripped open the envelope and smiled as I read the details. I was going. The days leading up to the gala were a whirlwind of emotions. I found myself standing in front of my closet, tossing aside dresses that felt too safe, too mundane. I wanted to make a statement, not just for Mark, but for myself. As I browsed through fabric and color, I opted for a bold red gown that hugged my curves and made me feel like a queen. "Wow, you look stunning," Sarah exclaimed as I twirled in front of the mirror. The dress shimmered in the light, the fabric flowing elegantly around me. My hair fell in soft waves, and I applied a touch of makeup to emphasize my eyes. "Do you think it's too much?" I asked, suddenly feeling vulnerable. "Not at all. You're not just going there to blend in. You're going to turn heads, Claire. You're reclaiming your story." Her enthusiasm was infectious, and I felt the nervous knots in my stomach begin to unravel. As the night approached, I rehearsed my words, crafting the perfect confrontation in my head. I would be calm, collected, and assertive. I would confront Mark about the life he abandoned and the hurt he caused. The night would be mine. The night of the gala arrived, and as I stepped into the grand ballroom, I felt a rush of adrenaline. The chandeliers sparkled like stars, casting a warm glow over the elegantly dressed guests mingling and chatting in hushed tones. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume, and the sound of laughter mingled with classical music. I took a deep breath, scanning the room for familiar faces. There was Mark, standing tall and confident at the front of the room, his charm radiating like a beacon. He looked successful, with his tailored suit and perfectly styled hair. Next to him stood Emily, his new wife, who was everything I wasn't, youthful, radiant, and seemingly perfect. As I walked through the crowd, I felt a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, but most importantly, empowerment. I was no longer the broken woman he had left behind. I had built a life filled with purpose and passion. "Claire, you made it!" Mark's voice cut through the noise. As he approached me, a smile plastered on his face. "Of course, I wouldn't miss it," I replied, my voice steady. "Congratulations on your success, Mark." I extended my hand, and he took it, his touch igniting old memories. "Thank you. I'm glad to see you're doing well." His eyes flickered with something, guilt perhaps, but I brushed it aside. "I've been busy," I said, "but it's nice to see you haven't changed." His smile faltered for a moment, and I could see the shadow of discomfort cross his features. But before I could press further, Emily joined us, her smile bright and welcoming. "Claire, it's so lovely to finally meet you. Mark has told me so much about you." I forced a smile, feeling the tension in the air. "I hope all of it was good." Emily laughed lightly, but I sensed the weight behind my words. The conversation danced around the surface, polite exchanges masking the underlying turmoil. I could feel the moment approaching, the confrontation I had rehearsed so many times in my mind. As the evening progressed, I watched Mark mingle with guests, his laughter echoing in the grand hall. I felt a surge of determination wash over me. It was time to show him the woman he had discarded. I gathered my courage and approached the stage where Mark would soon give his speech. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. This gala marks a new chapter in my life," Mark announced, the crowd applauding as he spoke with passion. "I couldn't have done this without the support of my wife, Emily." As the applause died down, I felt my heart racing. This was my moment. I stepped forward, interrupting him mid-sentence. "Excuse me, Mark. I think it's time we had a little chat." The room fell silent, all eyes on me. Mark's expression shifted from surprise to confusion, and I could see the tension in his shoulders. "Claire," he started, but I wouldn't let him finish. "I'm not here to reminisce about the past," I declared, my voice steady and unwavering. "I'm here to remind you of the pain you caused, how you chose to walk away when I couldn't give you what you wanted." Gasps echoed from the crowd, and I felt a rush of adrenaline. "You left me, Mark. You left me because I couldn't have children. But look at me now. I am thriving. I built a life worth living, and I did it without you." Mark's face paled as my words sank in. I felt empowered, the energy in the room shifting as I continued. "I'm not the only one who suffered because of your choices. There are others who have felt your sting, who have been hurt by your abandonment." I gestured toward the entrance, where 4 women entered, each with a story of their own. They were women I had met through my wellness center, each representing a part of my journey, each having faced their own struggles and triumphs. "Meet my friends," I said, my voice rising with confidence. "Each one of them has endured the pain of your betrayal just like I did." The women stepped forward, sharing their stories one by one. There was Rachel, who had lost hope after a failed relationship; Mia, who had endured years of emotional abuse; Laura, who had faced infertility alone; and Jenna, who had been discarded when she couldn't conform to Mark's expectations. Each story echoed the same theme: resilience in the face of betrayal. As they spoke, I could see the realization wash over the audience. Mark was no longer the charming businessman. He was a man with a past, exposed and vulnerable under the weight of our truths. The gala transformed from a celebration to a reckoning. Mark stood speechless, his charm stripped away, replaced by a look of shame. The room buzzed with whispers, and I felt a sense of satisfaction as I watched the fallout of my confrontation. "Claire, wait," Mark called out as I turned to leave, my heart racing with a mix of triumph and uncertainty. I paused, looking back at him. "What is it, Mark?" I never meant to hurt you," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Scared?" I scoffed, my anger flaring. "You threw away our marriage because of fear. You chose to walk out instead of fighting for us. I'm not the one who needs to explain myself here." With that, I turned and walked away, leaving him standing alone on the stage, surrounded by the women who had once been silenced by his actions. As I exited the ballroom, I felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. Outside, the cool night air enveloped me, and I took a moment to breathe deeply. The stars twinkled above, a reminder that there was a whole world beyond the pain of the past. I felt a surge of hope, knowing that I had reclaimed my narrative and stood up for myself and others. "Claire, there you are!" Sarah rushed toward me, her face lit up with excitement. "That was incredible! You were amazing!" "I can't believe I actually did it," I said, laughing. It felt good to confront him, to show him that I'm not a victim anymore. "You're a survivor," replied, wrapping me in a warm embrace. "And tonight, you showed everyone that you're thriving." As we walked together, the night felt alive with possibilities. I realized that this was a new chapter in my life, one where I could embrace who I was without the shadows of my past defining me.
In the days that followed, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. My wellness center flourished as more women came seeking guidance and support. My confrontation with Mark had sparked conversations about healing, empowerment, and the importance of standing up for oneself. I began organizing workshops and support groups, creating a space for women to share their stories and find strength in each other. I no longer felt the need to dwell on my past. Instead, I focused on building a future filled with hope and joy. One evening, as I sat in my office, I received a message from Mark. It was an apology, a recognition of the pain he had caused. I read it, feeling a mix of emotions. While I appreciated his acknowledgement, I knew that I had moved on. "Claire, you've created something beautiful," Sarah said, as we sat together in my office discussing plans for the upcoming workshops. "You've turned your pain into purpose." I smiled, feeling gratitude for the journey I had taken. I've learned that my worth isn't defined by anyone else. I'm proud of who I am, and I won't let my past dictate my future. As I looked out the window, the sun setting on the horizon, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. My journey had been long and painful, but it had also led me to a place of strength and resilience. I was ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that I had the power to shape my own destiny. And in that moment, I knew I was finally free.